Hello, my name is Nigel Cox, Senior Horticultural Lecturer at Bridgewater and Taunton College. And this is the first of a new series of how-to videos for my YouTube channel. And during these videos I'm going to take you through some of the basic techniques of propagation and other interesting areas for you as a gardener to try if you haven't already done so. And this session I'm going to be talking about propagating softwood cuttings. Now, I am doing this video in April, and this is a really good time to start thinking about taking softwood cuttings. So there's nothing better than getting plants for free, is there really? And in this situation, when we talk about softwood cutting, it's the really young new growth that has started in the spring. We're looking for the very soft, sappy growth. Now, it's young, it's tender, so you need to treat it very carefully, but it's also full of growth potential, and it's very easy at this time of the year to get softwood cuttings to root with some very simple techniques. So what would you need? Well, first of all, you need a pot and some form of compost. Ideally, please use a peat-free compost. I'm using a coir-based compost here for these. Now, you can use a seed compost because at this stage they don't need a lot of nutrients. Obviously, you need a label because once you put them in the pot, you need to remember what they are. I use a pair of sharp secateurs, pencil to write the label. Just one point, avoid those horrible plastic labels. These are lolly sticks, and they're perfect for this. They are reusable, degradable and sustainable. So always think about carefully those kind of things, such as not using peat, trying to avoid plastic. I have a plastic pot here, but this pot can be reused time and time again and is very hygienic. Next to it I have a fuchsia, and these are really good examples of fuchsias that are going to be perfect for taking cuttings. Now, as you can see, these have lots of this lovely young fresh growth. Now, one thing you really need to be sure of is when you're taking those cuttings, you're going to produce an identical copy of the original. So one thing you need to be sure of is that it's not got pests and diseases. So check it out, make sure it's good and healthy. And once you've done that, you select the healthiest. And in this case, I'm also pruning this fuchsia because it'll then bush out even more. I'm going to take around a 4-inch cutting. So if I take it, and I'm going to cut it between two nodes, that's between two parts of the leaf. So there you have an ideal cutting. Now, the cutting is going to root around the base of this node here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to cut just below that node, and this is where all the hormones are concentrated which will produce the new roots. Now then I need to prepare my cutting. Now we need to do this quite quickly because once you've cut this off, of course, there's no water getting to the plant and it'll start to wilt. So you need to snip off all of those lower leaves. Now I would take off all of these big leaves. Now the reason I take those off is because I don't want them losing a lot of water through those leaves. So we take those off, you can use your fingers, and so we end up with quite a nice small little cutting like this. Now you could use a rooting powder, a hormone rooting powder. I don't choose to do that. I don't really think it's necessary with these young new shoots because they will readily root. So what we need to do is we need to take our pot. Now the pencil will come in useful again as a dibber. And when you're planting them, you plant them around the outside of the pot. And so make a hole and pop your cutting in up to the base of the leaves. And once you've done that, firm it in, and then you can carry on to do the same, repeating time and time again. So I'll do another one here. And we have another one there. Taking that off there. Snip, snip, snip. And then with this one, I'm not going to take those leaves off completely. I'm just going to cut them in half. So I'm just reducing the leaf area. So again, in we go. And we carry on until we've got a complete pot. Now, the reason that you put them by the edge is that it's thought that the heat from the outside against that pot will actually help to promote the rooting of the cuttings. Don't forget, of course, to label the pot when you're finished, and then you can put it in a heated propagator. If you haven't got a heated propagator, then get a plastic bag and put a plastic bag around it. Water it before you do that, and that should then keep it moist in nice humid conditions. Now in about 2 to 3 weeks you should start seeing these perking up, and once they're perking up, resist the temptation to pull them just to see whether they're rooting. Leave them, and eventually you'll see the roots appearing out of the base of the pot. Once that's done, you can pot them on into individual pots, and again in another peat-free compost, this time a multi-purpose compost, and you've got a load of free plants. What better than having free plants? So that's the softwood cutting. This is for the fuchsias, but you can do it for other plants as well. But it's a perfect way of producing lots of new fuchsia plants in the spring. So until the next time, enjoy your gardening.